Hello, good evening and welcome to News 360, coming to you live from our studio here at Desanwe Kanda in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I am Ayisha Yakubu. Coming up, the headlines.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Ghana's political landscape sees new member as former NPP leaders Alan Tremanting, Boniface Sadiq and Yabuabe Samoa launch United Party, promising unity and transformation.
Also coming up, government will not pay tuition fees for at least 25,000 students enrolled in private senior high schools through the computerized school placement system as part of new arrangement.
It is World Food Day, but at least 2 million Ghanaians struggle with access to safe and reliable food sources, making them food insecure.
And later in business, latest data from Statistical Service shows that Ghana's economy grew by 4.5% in July, driven largely by agriculture.
And in international news, Madagascar's new military ruler says he will be sworn in as president on Friday.
We're live around the world on 3news.com. We always love to hear from you. So if you watch us on Facebook or on Twitter and on YouTube, you can send us a message.
We're starting off with some politics. After breaking away from the NPP in 2023 and launching the Movement for Change soon after, the Movement for Change has officially transitioned into a fully fledged political party named the United Party. This new twist to Alan Tremanting's political journey is aimed at breaking the duopoly of the ruling NDC and opposition NPP.
Alan Tremanting walked away from the NPP. He built a movement. Now, Alan Tremanting says it's time for a new party, the United Party. The choice of name, United Party, is raising eyebrows, a direct throwback to one of the founding blocks of the New Patriotic Party's political ancestry, a party he himself comes from. However, interim chairman of the UP, Abubakar Boniface Sadiq, insists this new party is building on the original values of the UP.
We of the UP Plus have adopted the best of the values and principles of the early UP, many of which are now taken for granted as constitutional rights. But we have also enhanced them based on our diverse experiences of governance in Ghana.
For interim general secretary of the party, a former member of parliament for Adentan constituency under the NPP, Yabuabe Samoa, the United Party is presenting an alternative of transparency, transformation and proper leadership in Ghanaian politics.
We are launching the United Party in the strong belief that it is needed urgently to fill a yawning gap in our political ecosystem. That gap is for a leadership we can trust. It is a gap for inclusion in decision-making and impactful economic and other resource management. And above all, a gap of integrity.
Founder of the United Party, Alan Tremanting, says the UP will create sustainable economic development for the country in all sectors.
The vision of the United Party is to make Ghana the economic powerhouse of Africa by 2040. We want particularly the youth and the women and the vulnerable of our society.
After today, what next for the United Party?
Okay, so we have to go out there and finalize the establishment of the party. This is our provisional certificate, which means we will need to roll out the party's structures on the ground to get our full certificate. And that's the next phase. Now, that we're a formal party, we can have MPs, parliamentarians and all that. There are MPs calling us, people who have gone to primaries and been mafiaed and been cheated, bonocracy, all those ills that have taken over the two major parties. People want out. People who have had enough of that, and they want us to put up a decent party. That's why we say we are going to put up a model party.
Let's have a conversation on all of this. We've been joined by Professor Smart Sapon. He is a political analyst and he joins us via phone. Prof, good evening to you and thank you for joining us on News 360. Prof, can you hear us? Professor Smart Sapon, we seem to be having a challenge with Professor's line. We'll try and get him back on the line and then ask him a few questions about this new party and what it means for Ghana's political landscape.
Well, still on the subject of a new political party known as the United Party, led by Alan Kyerematen, a former trade minister, in fact, a former Tamale Central Member of Parliament and Lands Minister, Enusa Fusheni, says if Kyerematen's newly launched United Party gains momentum and becomes a formidable force, it could spell the end of the New Patriotic Party as well as we all know it now.
MPP made a tragic mistake of letting Alan Kyerematen leave their party. Tragic mistake. It's a stalwart. And he left the party in circumstances that depart from the values of their party. He was hard done by the MPP. He was muzzled out of a competition that was supposed to usher the party into a democratic experiment or project. If the party doesn't believe in inclusivity, why should he be part of them? And so I support him. What he has failed to do was to divorce himself completely from the UP and position himself and his party as a third force. Because he's talked about a duopoly, breaking the duopoly. That's where he made a mistake. He should have gone for a different name. My view, I might be wrong. If Alan's party, UP, grows strong and formidable, that will signal the demise of the MPP. Nothing shakes the foundation of the NDC. Nothing. We're motivated by passion. We think that if we're able to sufficiently mobilize the people to buy into our policies, Ghana will be the better for it.
Now let's go back onto the phone lines to see if we have Professor Smart Sapon back on the line. Prof, good evening to you if you can hear me. Now, we know that, or it seems that the name United Party connects with that of the main opposition New Patriotic Party. What do you make of all of this?
Well, a very good evening to your good self and to our cherished viewers. Unfortunately, they couldn't cause any denial or different picture from what we all feel. They have, by way of their name and their mode of commencing the party, made it look like they are a bit away from the NPP, as we all suspected. So you are right in saying that. But then what it means is that they are going forward to have to depend on the generation of the NPP. But I know that they are experienced people, and they know that in the event the MPP doesn't degenerate, they may need to start a fresh recruitment from the branch level through to the national level. My advice would be that they focus on that. And then act as though there's no party called NDC, there's no party called MPP. They are starting afresh, recruit people, and then see how over the next 4 years, before the elections or even after, they can present themselves as a formidable party, even before they go seeking for breaking of the duopoly.
Prof, with all of the big names that make up this party, how significant will you say that the launch of the United Party is in reshaping Ghana's political landscape?
Well, we are in a multi-party democracy, and the involvement of several parties is encouraged under multi-party. Unfortunately, as you and I know, the political parties that comes up, except for the NDC and the MPP, have all appeared to be 3 months to election political parties. They don't appear to exist for over 3 years, and you see shadows of the existence few months to election. If UP United Party would deviate from that path and focus on building a party who has activities, grassroots level activities, constituency regional level activities, that would be a path to our multi-party democracy we are practicing. But unfortunately, they go to join those mushroom parties and they fail to exist only 3 months to election. Then they wouldn't have been any plus two. But we wish them well. We want to believe that they will not come and be like the several parties we only see during election year.
Right, Prof, we'll see how all of that pans out in the coming days. Thank you so much for joining us on News 360. Professor Smart Sapon is a political analyst talking to us there.
And we're staying on this new party because its founder, Alan Kyerematen, has questioned the NDC government's commitment to the fight against illegal mining. Alan Kyerematen told Roland Walker that while the current government may have political will, it lacks a comprehensive result-oriented strategy to effectively tackle the menace. Here are excerpts of that exclusive interview.
To be very objective, I would say that they are making an effort. They are trying. It is clear that there's the political will to get things done. But unfortunately, they have not been able to articulate a comprehensive and I would say a results-oriented strategy and policy framework. You know, the things that they are doing are not entirely consistent. And for me, I feel that they should look at my 10-point plan and agenda to stop galamsey. And I've talked about this. I've put this out in the media as part of the GTP. By the GTP, you know. And if you look at the GTP, it speaks very much to what we need to do about stopping galamsey.
Right, let's shift our attention to education now because government will not cover tuition fees for at least 25,000 students who are now enrolled in private senior high schools through the computerized school placement system. Instead, government will pay an annual stipend of 940 cedis for each student. The Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, announced this during the signing of a memorandum of understanding with leadership of the private schools in Accra.
Government is expanding the reach of its free senior high school policy this time to private schools. Through the computerized school placement system, 25,000 students have been placed into 70 private senior high schools across the country. To formalize the arrangement, the Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, signed a memorandum of understanding with the leadership of private senior high schools in Accra.
Vacancies declared by you of the 70 schools that are benefiting from this pilot stands at 70 at 44,000. Government have been able to place at least 25,000 to the private schools. Otherwise, that 25,000 would have been without schools, and that could define a terminal end to the career of many young people, students. So government is committing to provide a stipend of at least 250 Ghana cedis to support the transition of that category of students moving into private schools. That's negotiable. We'll still discuss as and when we can help you to up it. We'll be able to do so.
The initiative is part of an effort to eliminate double-track system and make room for more students as private schools offer additional capacity.
Ministry of Education shall not pay tuition fees. That's part of the understanding. I should thank you for that general support to government. Ordinarily, you would have insisted rightly and justifiably that government should pay for tuition. So momentarily, you are not for profit, but for the provision of the public good. I recognize and thank you for that. And then trust me, those of you who impress government in the implementation of this will compensate you with some infrastructure intervention where necessary.
Private school leaders are welcoming the move, saying it recognizes their role in national education delivery. With over 40,000 spaces announced by private schools, more students are expected to benefit in the coming years as government pushes for broader collaboration in education.
Away from education, former Minister of Health Dr. Bernard Okoboy has taken on government for the delay completing the La General Hospital, citing lack of budgetary commitment despite efforts by the past administration. He also says 3 completed Agenda 111 hospitals have been left non-operational. These remarks prompted quick rebuttal from the Health Ministry.
On Thursday, October 9th, the Health Minister visited the La General Hospital site, where he revealed that government has allocated 130 million cedis to complete the project in 2 years. But in a media engagement on Thursday, October 16th, former Health Minister Dr. Bernard Okoboy said government has failed to make any payment to the contractor.
The NPP administration duly honored the IPCs that were raised by the contractor after executing the work, totaling about 150 million Ghana cedis. That is why the hospital project started off. The 2025, the budget that was read by Honorable Atufosi made provision for 60 million Ghana cedis for La General Hospital. Since he read the budget in March up to today, out of the 60 million, not even 1 Ghana cedis has been paid for this project.
I sought reactions from the spokesperson for the Ministry of Health, Tony Goodman, who says the claims are misguided.
Case is that we are making 130 million. The minister has made a public statement on that. He's asked the contractor to come back to site. That is where we are. As to whether it is 30, it is 60, it is 100, that is not for him. He has failed the people. He was not able to do what the people wanted. It's been done by another person. You should allow the person to work. That is what we expect from him now.
The former health minister also accused government of abandoning 3 hospitals that were completed under the Agenda 111 project.
As of November 2024, active work was going on at 100 of the sites out of the 114, with 30 of these hospitals having crossed the 70% mark. 3 of these at Echima Kwamoma District Hospital at Trede, Oforikrum District Hospital at Kokobin, and Ahanta West District Hospital at Aguna Hanta were actually commissioned with equipment and everything being put inside. But today, because of politics, nobody has even tried to put our health workers into these hospitals. Health workers don't work in a market, they work in hospitals. These 30 hospitals can absorb at least 12 to 15,000 health workers immediately.
Again, the health ministry responded and said those projects were rushed.
It is not actually true that 3 of the Agenda 111 are completed and are ready to be used. You cannot use any of them. The one in Oforikrum, Trede, and then Bokoro, they were rushed. You cannot post a worker there to go and work. If they are still at various phases of completion, you cannot take over a project that was being run under the presidency and then start running it. When he was here, the project wasn't here. He didn't see the need to get it to the ministry. Now that it's out, he's found his voice.
The La General Hospital has suffered a political history and remains a controversial subject. As strategic as it is, many look forward to its early completion to improve healthcare delivery and not the political gimmicks. Christian Yale, TV3 News.
Between June and August 2025, about 2 million Ghanaians face acute food insecurity, the highest levels in recent years. When it comes to the hardest hit areas, the northern belt of the country bear the brunt. The northern regions are the hardest hit. The Upper East region recorded the most severe food shortages, followed by the northeast and northern regions. Other northern areas, including Upper West and Savannah, also struggle to access enough food. Experts cite climate shocks, rising food prices, and limited access to farming inputs as the main drivers of the crisis. As the world marks World Food Day, the message is clear. Ghana must feed its people today or risk its future. Now, let's get onto the dashboard and get more insights to this. Martin, it is World Food Day, but Absolutely. Ghana is lacking at some places.
Yes, and it's a major concern because everybody eats. In fact, if you're watching us, I'm sure you've had something to eat. Probably you're having dinner around this time. But there is a major concern that we all need to pay attention to, which is that a significant number of our population do not have food or are at risk of not having good, sufficient, quality food to eat. So as it stands, 2.4 million Ghanaians, and this is data from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and then also the Ghana Statistical Service put together by our research team. As it stands, people who are vulnerable, most vulnerable in the country, stand about 2.4 million, and almost half of the country, that is 49.1%, are at risk, meaning there is the possibility or there is the potential they may also be vulnerable and may not get food to eat. So that's quite a significant number. And we are talking about this because today is World Food Day. We are just looking at how much food does Ghana have to feed the almost over 30 million population. And if you look at the regions with the most severe food shortage or food insecurity challenges, the Upper East was mentioned. The Upper East currently stands about 48.7%, followed by the Northeast region, the Northern region, Upper West region, and the Savannah region. All these regions are the upper part of the country. It's interesting that many call that side, or we all refer to them as the food basket of Ghana, where we get a lot of our food. But what we've realized is that, yes, to bring it to the southern part of the country, particularly Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, where we have the dense population of Ghanaians. So, yes, they produce the food, but then they are unable to consume it or do not have quality in terms of its consumption. The region with the least risk is the eastern region. There is just about 7%. So it tells you that a lot of intervention that government intends to put in place must start looking at these places that provide food for all of us to see. And many of you will see truckloads of yam and other food items coming mostly from the northern part of the country to the south, but they are at risk of not getting quality food to eat. These are the major causative reasons or reasons why there seem to be food insecurity in some areas. First of all, erratic rainfall, droughts, and flooding. You'll recall in the latter part of last year, in the middle part of last year, there were reports of drought in the northern part of the country. Government had to intervene quickly and provide them with enough support and assistance. Then there is poverty, low housing income, and unemployment. There is increased pests that reduce crop yield, and this actually affects mostly the regions that actually even produce food. There are pest infestations that, affect their crops on the farm even before harvest. And then import dependency and occasional hoarding. This is also another major issue. Well, we know the problem. What are the proposed solutions that can, help in reducing the possible risk of food shortage or drought? We know that there now is the need for drought-resistant crops and irrigation systems. The northern part, again, that was why when the former administration promised that the Polugu Dam was going to be, built or constructed for the people, there was a lot of joy and support for that intervention, but it didn't materialize. So if you're able to get irrigation systems in those drought areas, it's very likely to support in getting us enough food. Also, the implementation of subsidies and food assistance programs, which should be captured in government policies. Then government or the state must invest in storage facilities and help with transportation. Because, again, we indicated that food comes to where majority are, but if the transportation system is not up to date or up to scratch, that in itself can be a major challenge. And then finally, price monitoring and consumer protection. A lot is policy-driven, but the interventions are also important and must happen so that we all can be sure that there is enough food for you and I to eat on a regular basis. So we are just celebrating today being World Food Day, and these are the key issues that we need to start paying attention to, Aisha.
Right, Martin. Thank you so much for that thorough explanation. Let's move on to some more stories this evening. Nipa Hiamwa, a community of approximately 6,000 residents on the outskirts of Kintampo, lives out its tragic name every single day. The town is marooned where the most fundamental needs like clean water, healthcare, and proper education are non-existent.
Nipa Hiamwa, a community nestled on the outskirts of Kintampo, bears a name that is less of a title and more of a plea. Human needs help.
Everybody at some point needs help. The name means extending a helping hand. Everybody needs help. Even God instructed us to help one another.
Approximately 6,000 residents who call this place home. That name isn't just a linguistic expression. It's a crushing daily reality. The very identity of the town seems to have become a self-fulfilling prophecy, or better still, a curse. Despite its significant population, the community is struggling with the most fundamental prerequisites of dignified life. The most pressing crisis is the lack of access to basic amenities like water, the most essential element of life.
What we need the most is water. We have boreholes, but they barely flow. The waterfall here is mostly used for bathing. We can't use that same water for our house chores.
The water crisis is compounded by the absence of a health facility for the people of Nipa Hiamwa. Getting sick is not just an inconvenience, it's a gamble with mortality.
We don't have any clinic here, unless Bono Manso, and getting a car there is also a challenge. People die here due to that.
To make their challenges worse, the community possesses a single school which only offers education up to primary 5. Once a child reaches this educational ceiling, their learning journey in Nipa Hiamwa comes to an abrupt halt.
The world now is ruled by education, and so if you are deprived of the basics, you are going to suffer. We become a laughingstock whenever we try to seek education in our neighboring communities. Due to this, we don't even like going to school.
The residents of Nipa Hiamwa are appealing for intervention.
We really need help. We don't have schools. We don't have water. We don't have a health facility, even markets. We are pleading with our leaders to come to our aid.
The situation highlights profound oversight by authorities where community's name seems to have foreshadowed its fate. The irony of the town's name, Nipa Hiamwa, is a clear cry for intervention. If the town is to break free from this painful cycle, this plea must be answered. Belinda Tete, TV3 News, Nipa Hiamwa.
Now, Cargill Ghana has commissioned a state-of-the-art ICT laboratory for the Nyinahini Salem Model Basic School in the Itrimamponya district of the Ashanti region. The facility aims to bridge the digital divide between rural and urban schools and promote ICT education among pupils.
The newly commissioned ICT laboratory is part of Cargill Ghana's commitment to improving ICT education.
We believe that sustainable development starts with education. Here in Hineni, we have some operations of cocoa sourcing. So we wanted also to give back to that community that have been so great to us. So in that sense, we decided to open this computer lab to give the children an opportunity to thrive.
The district's Human Resource Director, Echo Annan, who represented the District Education Director, commended Cargill Ghana for the initiative.
Yeah, the performance not being what we expect because they don't have well-equipped lab as we have here. And this one is a standard one that in the districts. And I hope next time round, all the NGOs who will come, this has raised the bar. So when they come, they'll look at this and then replicate.
The head teacher of Nyinahin Salem Model Basic School, Owusu Solomon, also expressed appreciation to Cargill Ghana.
Within the district, we don't have this kind of ICT lab. So it will be a lot to us and to help us immensely to help them in their academics, in learning, and then even their BC.
A pupil expressed excitement about the opportunity to learn computer skills.
It has helped us, the students. It has helped us in typing. With this, my friend sitting beside me knows how to type, so she will also teach me with all those things.
Cargill Ghana continues to demonstrate its commitment to promoting quality education and equipping the next generation with digital skills essential for the future.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. Business, sports, entertainment are all coming up.
Good evening. Welcome to the business segment on News360. I am Minu Afol. Ghana's economy grew by 4.5% year-on-year in July 2025, according to the inaugural release of the Monthly Indicator of Economic Growth, MIEG, by the Ghana Statistical Service. The new MIEG index, designed to provide a more frequent snapshot of economic activity, rose from 105.4 in July 2024 to 110.2 in July 2025.
This indicates continued economic expansion despite persistent global and domestic challenges. However, the latest figure represents a notable slowdown from the 8.3% growth recorded in July 2024, signaling a moderation in the overall pace of economic activity. Government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu noted that the agriculture sector was the key driver of the month's growth.
The agriculture sector grew by 8%. The industry sector grew by 0.1%. And services expanded by 6.4%. So overall, while growth has softened compared to last year, the economy continues to show resilience and diversification, with key sectors maintaining forward momentum even in the period of economic adjustment.
Monthly indicator of economic growth will be crucial for the nation's economic management, serving as an early indicator of shifts in economic activity.
A new high-frequency measure that tracks changes in economic activities every single month. It offers the earliest glimpse of how our economy is performing in the third quarter of the year, so that even before we come and release the quarter three, at least we have an indication of how economic activities are moving in the third quarter of the year. It complements the official quarterly GDP figures that will, as usual, be released in December for quarter three of 2025.
This will enable policymakers, investors, and businesses to make more timely and informed decisions between the quarterly GDP releases.
Away from that, the Ghana Association of Banks is raising concern that many firms in the extractive industry, particularly small and medium-scale operators, are yet to meet environmental, social and governance compliance standards, a key requirement for accessing sustainable financing. At a Sustainable Banking Principles Deep Dive series organized by the Bank of Ghana in Accra, the association pledged to partner regulators and development agencies to close the compliance gap.
With Ghana's extractive sector contributing about 7% of GDP and over 40% of total exports, the push for sustainability financing has become critical. But the Ghana Association of Banks says a large portion of operators, especially SMEs, remain ESG non-compliant, limiting their access to green and sustainability-linked capital.
GAB will intensify our collaboration with our regulator and development partners to build a dual capacity framework, one that strengthens ESG competencies within banks and enhances compliance readiness within the extractive sector themselves.
Second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Matilda Asiedu, urged banks to look beyond profit margins and support credit that advances sustainability goals.
And so I want us to think beyond the bottom line, or think in spite of the bottom line, and see how we can achieve the bottom line but achieve it sustainably. At the central bank, I think this is something that we took note of since 2015, and we've issued guidelines, we've issued policies, we've issued regulation. But the reason we're going the extra mile to do these deep dive sessions is to go beyond the paperwork.
The engagement is part of a series of deep dives under the Ghana Sustainable Banking Principles, focusing this time on the extractive sector, one of the key drivers of Ghana's growth and environmental impact.
Let's now take a look at how the cedi is faring against the other trading currencies and how some of our key commodities are also faring on the global market. And that's how we wrap up the business segments on News 360 tonight. I am Menu Afol. Sports news comes up next. Please stay with us.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. The Korean Football Association has officially announced that there will be an international friendly between Korea, South Korea and Ghana in November. Now, the match is expected to take place on November 18 and will serve as an Asian tour for the Black Stars, who will also play against Japan 4 days prior. The friendlies against Japan and South Korea is expected to serve as preparations for the Black Stars ahead of the 2026 World Cup in North America. Otuado's men will look to go a step further and reach the knockout stages of the upcoming Mundial. Well, from the men's national team, let's head over to the women's national team, where Ghana's Black Queens head coach Kim Boykagen has announced his squad to face Egypt in the 2026 WAFCON qualifier. Now, this will be the first time that the Queens will assemble after winning bronze at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. The squad is made up of 22 players from the last call-up and 2 Black Princesses alumni. That's Helen Alomenu and Sharon Sampson. The first leg will be played on October 23, 2025 at the Suez Canal Stadium in Ismaila, and the second leg on October 28 at the Accra Sports Stadium here in Accra, Ghana. Now, let's do some more here and talk about youth football, because Morocco became the 3rd African country to reach the final of the Under-20 World Cup after defeating France 5-4 on penalty shootouts after the match ended 1-1 in regular time. The Atlas Cubs are now just 90 minutes potentially away from equaling Ghana's record as the only African nation to win the trophy. There's more details in the following report.
Scored at this Under-20 World Cup, and
Morocco's penalty shootout win over France in the Under-20 World Cup semi-finals represented a significant new chapter for African football. The achievement makes the Atlas Cubs only the 3rd African side to reach the final, having already defeated tough opponents like the United States, Brazil and Spain on their remarkable journey. It also reinforces Morocco's reputation across all national team levels in recent years, from their famous semi-final appearance at the 2022 FIFA World Cup to consistent performances in youth and women's competitions.
I think this is a huge achievement for our football and a big moment for Morocco, because I think it's not just a victory in one tournament. It's a reflection of years of hard work, strategic planning, and continuous development within our national teams. If you look back to the impressive run in 2022 World Cup in Qatar or 2024 Olympics in Paris, it's clear that Morocco football is on a remarkable upward trajectory.
Since Ghana's triumph in 2009, no African country has reigned supreme at this level. That could change on Sunday when the Atlas Cubs face 6-time champions Argentina in the final, a chance to edge their names in football history.
I think we should follow Ghana's path back when they won the World Cup. We have the right to dream. We already won against some big names in world football: Brazil, Spain, France, USA, South Korea. These are top teams. And of course, Argentina will be tough. There's no doubt. But we believe in our team. We are dreaming big. It's, I think, a 50-50 match. And we just hope our players will be in top physical and mental shape on the day, and everything is possible.
For Morocco, this moment is about more than just a trophy. It's a reflection of long-term investment, belief, and the steady rise of African football on the global stage.
Remarkable!
Well, a big weekend ahead, not just for Morocco, but also for African football as a whole. You can get reactions and more stories on our social media handles at 3Sports. GH, my name is Oreku Ampofo.
My line of work,
entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, the Bono East region has never claimed the Ghana's most beautiful crown in the history of the prestigious pageant. Now, all eyes are on their vibrant and passionate representative, Nana, as she sets out to make history by bringing home the region's first ever title. Now, proudly carrying the hopes of Bono East, Nana has embraced the challenge, vowing to go for gold at the grand finale. She is beautiful, smart, and eloquent.
I'm Nana, representing the Bono East region in this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful. I graduated from the University of Education, Winneba. I studied procurement and supply chain management. I love to listen to music. I love watching football.
Nana's journey has been thrilling and has served as a valuable learning curve. A true symbol of resilience, she has embraced every challenge with enthusiasm, using each experience as an opportunity to improve.
The Nana that we all saw from week one is not the Nana we are seeing now. The transformation, now my confidence level. GMB has really helped me to build my confidence level. And with every judgment the judges pass, I work on it and work on my weaknesses also.
Her journey on GMB stage has been truly inspiring, marked by her captivating performances and her passionate advocacy for development and empowerment. The University of Education Winneba graduate has consistently leveraged her platform to showcase the potential of Bono East, highlighting its vibrant culture, hardworking people, and untapped opportunities.
I should say I've really sold my region out there. Through GMB, I've got to know a lot of things about my region, our culture. I never knew we had a magic pan that fell from the sky. I never knew with our Queen Mother, our Tebubu Queen Mother, her kente is woven at night. And through GMB, I've been able to discover all these stories or history about my region. So I've really sold my region out there.
As the grand finale approaches, the pride of the Bono East stands ready to give it her all.
If I win this crown, it's going to be a great achievement for me. Coming Sunday, people out there should expect something magic. My fans should expect a full package labeled NA from me on Sunday.
She is fired up and ready to make history by bringing the Bono East region its first ever GMB crown.
Already, I feel proud of myself because it's Bono East's first time of being in the finale. We've never been in the finale before. We've already broken the record. And I know with God, all things are going to be possible with me. And I know with my efforts I'm going to put on Sunday, I'm going to send the crown to Bono East region.
The spirited contender seeks to use the exposure from the platform to propel her projects dedicated to enhancing technical and vocational skills. She called on her supporters to show up in full force at the National Theatre and vote massively to secure victory on Sunday, October 19, 2025.
Hello everyone out there, Bono East, Bono region, Ahafu region, Ghana and beyond. This is your girl NANA. Coming Sunday is the grand finale. Please come in numbers to support me. Kindly continue voting for me massively for us to win the first ever Ghana's Most Beautiful crown to the Bono East region. And I promise I won't disappoint you.
From Atebubu, Sine, Kintampo, through to Pro East and West, Tumkranza and Techiman, where all the 11 districts come from my region, filled with breathtaking beauty, rich heritage, and generous hearts.
Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
And that's it for our package. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I am Ayisha Yakubu. Enjoy the rest of our programs.